Training, I'm going to show you how to determine the coordinate system of a map area. The map element defines the client-side image map, while the area element is used to define an area inside the image map. For example, let's assume you have all these different objects within the rectangular box that you're seeing there. Now, we can use this to specify their coordinates. You can see it's a lot easier to find the coordinate of a rectangle, a circle, but when it gets to shapes like this, we have to use what is called polygon. Now, the rectangular shape here, in the case of the rectangular shape, you see that the top left and the bottom left coordinate can be determined as shown here. While for the circle, the center coordinate and the radius size can be determined as this. But for polygon, that is for shapes that are irregular, you can use the coordinates of all corners by specifying the coordinate system as shown here. So having that in mind, if you want to represent this using your HTML, you have to use what is called the IMG element as shown here. And of course, you can see how this element will be represented. Let me show you an example of how this is done. Let's assume that we want to achieve something like this. In this particular example, my aim is I already have, it's more or less like a global spatial database of activities that happens in different states in Nigeria. So you can see just moving my mouse around, I could see the states popping up and their figures uh, of what I'm trying to portray. So now, how do you specifically allocate this label or designate this label to a particular area? You can see the shape is irregular. So in this case, we have to use polygon. And how do you assign the number? So to do this, the first thing we need to do is to use the Windows Paint application. So on this Windows Paint application, I brought in this map. So you can go to File, Save As, or Open. Then you open the map. Immediately, this map is loaded on this Windows Paint environment. What you notice is that the total size of the map is designated here, and also the dimension of this map, 800 by 800 pixels, is shown here. But notice an interesting thing. If I'm moving my cursor around to the different shapes here, the coordinate system appears here. So just watch here as I'm moving around. As I'm moving around, you can see the coordinate system is appearing here. So using polygon, designating each of this area as polygon, we can now use this to identify the coordinate area for different points that we will use in our representation. So having that in mind, so with that, I now develop. You can now develop a complete HTML application that will help you do that job. So what I did here was to specify my script. This script shows all the states, the different states that are designated by different areas on that map. What this first section does basically will be to pop up the name, enable me to pop up the name of the state and the figure that I'm trying to put across. Then as you go into the main body of the HTML document, you can see that all the states are shown here. So what happens in this case is that this the coordinates of the polygon is designated here, so the area is shown, and the value that I want to pop up with the state is also shown here. So I'm going to scroll this around gently for anybody who wants to try this. So you can um, go through the script and type it the way it's appearing there, gently, carefully. If you look at it carefully and you follow the same way, the same pattern that this has been designed, then you will be able to create um, a database distribution of values around that map. Meanwhile, that map is a map of Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that is located in West Africa. So I'm going through the script carefully. So there are a total of 36 states plus FCT, making it 37 states. So I had to write a script for all the states, and and tell it to create a pop-up anytime there's a mouse over. And the other part basically talks about the positions, the polygon positions of each of the areas, and it also designates the values that will pop up when your mouse hovers around that area. So with this in mind, you will be able to create a database distribution of values around the map, and this is what you end up having. So that's how to allocate these values to the different areas on the map. Thank you.